Part 20. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 191. In the next few days, nothing happened in the entire upper realm, but soon the news of the establishment of Supervisor TNC spread throughout the entire world. Everyone knows that the Supervisor TNC formed by the spirit race and the demon race under the command of the ancient emperor is composed of the most powerful people. The main responsibility is to maintain the stability of the 10,000 realms. If anyone messes up in the 10,000 realms, the strong men of Supervisor TNC will appear next to them in an instant and take them back for disposal. Jian TNC's ubiquitous presence surprised everyone. For a time, everyone became calm in the world and did not dare to mess up anymore, allowing the world to regain peace. Suju is still cultivating in the cave heaven paradise, and his realm is still only a first-grade immortal emperor. However, Suju knows that it will take 7 days for this cultivation to be fully resolved, and by then his realm will have a qualitative breakthrough. Outside the upper world, thousands of people are standing in the sky at this time. This is the upper realm. You must be careful when going here. So many people in the savage tribe have fallen into trouble, and there must be strong ones among them, an old man said, looking at the thousands of people behind him. Elder, what are you afraid of? There are 3,000 of us here, all of them are elites. The weakest ones are in the mysterious God realm. Elder, you are a strong person in the main God realm. Even if there are really strong people in the upper realm, they can't defeat us. Can also escape whole body. Yes, the people of the barbarian tribe were wiped out because they had been hiding for many years, so it is normal for them to be inferior in strength. Although the old man thinks these guys are too arrogant, he thinks there is some truth in what they say. He is a strong man in the main God realm. If he can't win, can't he protect himself? Let's go, be careful. Swish swish swish. After the old man finished speaking, everyone turned into a stream of light and flew towards the upper realm. Before long, they entered the upper realm. And the moment these people appeared, Guyur, who was closing her eyes to rest, also opened her eyes. The gods are coming. Guyur looked at Anita and said, "What the Lord said is indeed true. The Lord has been in seclusion for almost 7 days now. We don't know when we will be released from seclusion. We'd better retreat first," Anita said. Then Guyur and Anita conveyed orders to everyone in the demon clan and the spirit clan, asking everyone to hide. They had already explained it a few days ago, so now after giving the order again, the people from the 2 tribes moved very quickly. Rumble. When the 2 tribes all retreated, a huge city in the upper world also heard roars, and everyone in the city looked towards the sky. Look, what is that? What a powerful breath. It's strange, they don't seem to be from our race in the upper world. This aura, could they be from the divine race? No way, why do people from the God clan suddenly appear? Is it to rule our entire upper world? Looking at the thousands of people in TNG, everyone showed shocked expressions. At the same time, many people turned on the recording function of Wanja and released all the things here to Wanja. Who is in charge here? At this time, among the people of the God clan above the sky, a man stood up and looked down at the people below and asked. Swish. The next second, a sound broke through the air, and everyone saw a figure flying out of the city lord's palace. I am Lu Haowen, the lord of this city. I wonder who you are and why you are here, a middle-aged man asked, looking at the people of the God clan. The man looked at Lu Haowen, then waved his right hand, and a force bound him. What are you going to do? Lu Haowen's expression changed. He wanted to break away from this power, but found that he couldn't do it with his first-level immortal emperor level. Let go of the city lord. Rumble. Before the man could speak, several figures appeared, and they all used their methods to kill the man. Even ants dare to make noise. Boom. Ah. Looking at these people, The man said something disdainfully, and then waved his palm, and these people turned into ashes and disappeared between heaven and earth. Who are these people? The strength is so strong, those few are all strong men in our city, and each of them is in the realm of 9th level immortals. It's over, even these strong men are no match, then aren't we going to die here? Everyone in the city was horrified to see the man kill the strong man in their eyes so lightly. Who are you and what are you going to do? Lu Haowen gritted his teeth and looked at the man and others and asked coldly. We are the gods, and we just want to ask you about something. If you answer obediently, there is still a way to survive. The elder of the God clan said lightly. God clan? Hearing this, everyone in the city changed their expressions. Unexpectedly, they were actually the legendary God clan. As long as you don't harm other people in the city, I will tell you everything I know. Lu Haowen frowned and said. The God clan is one of the 3 legendary heavenly tribes. It is said that the Demon clan and the Spirit clan were on par with the God clan when they joined forces. He is just like an ant in front of the God clan. Do you know the Barbarian clan? The elder looked at Lu Haowen and asked. Savage tribe? Are you talking about the Wilderness Palace? Lu Haowen asked. These gods really came for the Wilderness Palace. How could the gods let it go when the Wilderness Palace was destroyed? Well, do you know what happened to the Savage tribe? The elder asked, nodding. They have been killed. Lu Haowen hesitated and said. Court death. Ah. Just as Lu Haowen finished speaking, a cold light flashed in the eyes of the man next to him, and the power in his hands became stronger, causing constant pain on Lu Haowen's face. Elder, this person is talking nonsense. Although the strength of the Savage clan is not as strong as it used to be, it is impossible to kill him with just the people in this world, not to mention that no news has been sent back. The man looked at the old man and said coldly. He was a member of the Barbarian tribe, so naturally he did not believe that the Barbarian tribe would be wiped out. The old man did not speak, and with another wave, the power bound to Lu Haowen disappeared, and at the same time his figure also came to Lu Haowen. Can you tell me who killed the Savage tribe? Where is this person now? The old man asked. Lu Haowen looked hesitant. Although he knew who did it, if he told it, he might not be able to survive today. By then, he would no longer be human inside and out. The predecessors of the God clan, we know who destroyed the Barbarian clan. While Lu Haowen was hesitating, a voice sounded from below, and several figures quickly came to the sky. Is it you? You guys are really evil-minded. Looking at these people, Lu Haowen said coldly. These people recently wanted to unite the powerful men in the upper world to resist the ancient emperor. They just talked to him about this matter today, but he rejected him. Unexpectedly, they wanted to hug him now. The thighs of the gods. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 192. Lu Haowen, you don't know how to praise yourself, and you have no control over our choices. The leading man said and looked at the old man from the God clan. Senior and Junior Wu Yuda are the sect masters of Jiling sect, and these are all friends of the junior. The old man nodded. If you tell us who destroyed the barbarian tribe, I can spare your lives today. The senior is the great ancient emperor, who single-handedly destroyed the barbarian tribe, Wu Yuda said. One person. Hearing this, the old man frowned. This guy is not teasing him. Although the strength of the barbarian tribe left in the upper world is not strong, there are also powerful ancient gods. How can one person destroy them? Even if they can destroyed, but there are millions of people in the savage tribe, how can it be that not even one person can spread the news? Do you know the consequences of playing tricks on us? The God clan man next to him looked at Wu Yuda coldly and said, destroy the entire barbarian clan by one person? Does the other party look down on his barbarian clan? Seniors, I'm not kidding you, I have proof here. Wu Yuda said, hurriedly opened the world, clicked on the light and shadow of the ancient emperor, and started playing it directly. The old man and the man also looked at the picture in the light and shadow, and the more they looked, the more surprised they became. They didn't expect that there is such a thing in the upper world. Strong men exist, and even the barbarian tribe has used divine generals, yet they were all killed. Do you know where this person is now? The man asked in a deep voice, his eyes full of murderous intent. Millions of people from the barbarian tribe were slaughtered. As a member of the barbarian tribe, he must take revenge. The whereabouts of this ancient emperor are mysterious, and I don't know where he is, but I know that the demons and spirits are now his subordinates. As long as I find the demons and spirits, I should be able to find him. Wu Yuda said, if you don't mind me first, I'm willing to take you to find the demons and spirits. The old man and the man looked at each other and did not speak in a hurry. How could the other party be so kind to help them? Wu Yuda also saw what they were thinking and sneered, Senior, this junior is dissatisfied that the upper world is occupied by the ancient emperor. If Senior can, if we take action, the sect where this junior belongs will have the opportunity to become the strongest sect in the upper world, so. Okay, if you can help us find this person, our God clan will support you in the future, but if you lie to us, you should know the consequences. The old man nodded. It just so happened that they needed to find an entrance in the upper world to support a puppet, which would also facilitate their actions. Thank you, Senior. Let's go now. Wu Yuda's eyes were filled with joy, and his heart was filled with excitement. Originally, he wanted to unite other strong men to fight against the ancient emperor. Although he might not succeed, there was still some hope. But he didn't expect that the gods would appear and take action. Then this matter it became easier. The old man nodded, winked at the man, and then everyone left. Rumble. Not far after everyone left, the entire city was shrouded in fire, and all the creatures in it were killed. This is the consequence of not knowing how to appreciate others. Seeing this scene, Wu Yuden not only was not afraid, but was filled with sneers in his heart. At the same time, everyone in the upper realm quickly learned about the arrival of the gods through Wanja. In Linghai sect, Zhang Qiao was facing a number of things. Dao Shuiying. What should we do now? Unexpectedly, the gods came, and with our strength, it may be difficult to stop them. Zhang Qiao looked at several people and asked with a frown. The strength of the gods must have come from the destruction of the wild palace. Now the only one who can stop the gods is the ancient emperor. According to the news, Wu Yuda, the leader of the Jiling sect, led the people of the god clan in the direction of the demon clan, but we must also prepare in advance. Zhang Qiao nodded, and then sighed, I didn't expect that in the end we would still need the ancient emperor to rescue us. The others were silent. They were also somewhat dissatisfied with the ancient emperor before, but when danger came, they were the first to do so. What comes to mind is also the ancient emperor. Even if the ancient emperor does not return with the demons and spirits, the upper realm will eventually be occupied by the savage palace Yugudeo. Others nodded. They also understood this. Now they just changed their ruler. At the same time, under the leadership of Wu Yuda, the people of the god clan quickly arrived at the original location of the imperial court. This many people died along the way. Wu Yuda deliberately took a detour and took everyone to the territory of some sects that he did not deal with. These sects were all destroyed by the gods. Senior, the demons are here. Wu Yuda said while looking at the imperial court in front of him. The old man looked at the imperial court and then nodded, there is indeed the aura of the demons here. Elder, let's fight in now. I want to see how strong this ancient emperor is. The god clan man snorted coldly, then nodded to the people behind him, and flew towards the imperial court with 1,000 people. The old man did not stop him. Since they have already arrived here, they have no reason to avoid him. The God clan man they led everyone into the imperial court, but soon they frowned. Because they searched the entire imperial court, but no one from the demon clan was found. Elder, judging from the traces, these demons have just evacuated not long ago. They must have known that we were coming, so they were afraid. The man returned to the old man and said. The old man narrowed his eyes, but he didn't expect that they were still late, and all the people from the demon clan ran away. Senior, this ancient emperor wants to rule the entire upper world. If we massacre him, I don't believe he won't come out. Wu Yuda rolled his eyes and stepped forward with a smile. Even if he really doesn't come out, then he will no longer have any prestige in the upper world. By then, the entire upper world will be in the possession of the gods. Hearing this, the old man gave the other party a cold look. How could he not know what the other party was thinking? The other party wanted to use their hands to get rid of the opponent. But he didn't care. If they wanted to find the entrance, they would definitely need it. If someone obstructs the manpower and material resources, it will be difficult to do things. Moreover, Wu Yuda is average in strength, but has extremely strong ambitions. This kind of person is a sharp knife when used well. It is not easy to find such a person as a puppet again. Since once they came to the upper realm, they naturally had to take care of things and wait for their realm king to come out of seclusion. Man, you and Wu Yuda will clear out some disobedient ants in the upper realm. As for the ancient emperor, even if he doesn't appear now, it will be easy to find him when the king of realms comes out of seclusion, the old man said. Obey the elders. As the man from the god clan said, he led the people from the god clan and left with Wu Yuda. This made Wu Yuda's eyes full of surprises. He didn't expect that he would be able to realize his ambition for many years so soon. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 193. Soon, under the leadership of Wu Yuda, the gods began to kill people in the upper world, and everyone in the upper world knew about this. I didn't expect that Ji-Ling sect would be such a pickpocketing guy, and he would actually help the gods deal with us. What should we do? These gods are too powerful. We have no chance of winning. Why did the demons and spirits disappear? Did they already know that the gods were coming, so they ran away? The ancient emperor has also disappeared. Doesn't he want to rule the upper world? Now that it's like this, why hasn't he taken action yet? Everyone in the upper world was anxious, thinking about how to defeat the enemy. Every second that passed meant they would lose their lives. Different from the anxiety in the upper world, everyone in Dingtian world looked at the lights and shadows emanating from the upper world with a look of boredom. Unexpectedly, the gods actually went to the upper realm. Aren't these guys in the upper realm still very proud? If you have the ability, just kill these gods yourself. You still dare to be disrespectful to Senior Huangwu, now you know it's over? What were you doing early in the morning? When there is peace, you want to be the master of your own country. When danger comes, you want a hero to save the world. You people in the upper world are nothing more than that. Aren't you dissatisfied with the ancient predecessors before? Now what are your abilities and how anxious are you? Deserve it? Although the Dingtian world and the upper world have now been connected, they are not worried because they have completely obeyed the ancient emperor. They believe that if they encounter danger, the ancient emperor will definitely take action. Of course, if they knew that Suju was still practicing at this time, even if the gods ran to the Dingtian world, they would not appear for a while. I am afraid they would not be so optimistic. The massacre of the gods in the upper realm also made the strong men in the upper realm realize that something was wrong. If this continues, they will really be slaughtered. For this reason, many sects began to form alliances to prepare for the strong men coming from the gods this time. Although they knew they were not opponents, if they did not even have the courage to resist, it would really be over. But there is news. Where are the gods now? In Linghai sect, millions of people have gathered at this time. All of them are strong men from various sects, because they sensed that the gods were already heading in the direction of Linghai sect. Report to the sect leader, the gods have just destroyed the Yuanming sect, and they will come to our Linghai sect in half an hour at most, a disciple said. After hearing this, the expressions of dozens of sect leaders in the Linghai sect's hall changed. In half an hour, they will start a war with the gods. Sect leader Zhang, what should we do now? There is no news about the ancient emperor. If this continues, it will be over. I don't know where the ancient emperor went. The demons and spirits also ran away, and we are the only ones left. After hearing the words of the various sect leaders, Zhang Zhangqiao snorted, now do you know the importance of the ancient emperor? I remember that many of your sects were dissatisfied with him at the beginning. Now that the ancient emperor and the demons and spirits have left, shouldn't you be happy? Zhang Zhejiang, what do you mean by this? We are indeed a little dissatisfied with the ancient emperor, but the reason why this god clan came is not because he destroyed the barbarian palace, otherwise the god clan would not seek revenge on us. Yes, he destroyed the people of the god clan and ran away. Now the god clan has come to visit us, but we are the ones suffering. This ancient emperor is not a good person either. Sect Master Zhang, now we are here to help you fight against the gods, but you are mocking us coldly. There is no need for this, right? Many sect leaders became dissatisfied. It was already like this anyway, and they didn't care anymore. If the ancient emperor hadn't destroyed the savage palace, our upper realm would have been occupied by the gods. Do you think it would be better than it is now? Zhang Qiao snorted coldly, as for helping our Linghai sect resist the gods, you all know what you think. On the surface, I was helping Linghai sect, but in fact, I couldn't protect myself, so I came to seek refuge with Linghai section. Okay, now that the enemy is in front, let's not have unnecessary arguments. The key is to find a way to resist the gods first. Seeing that everyone was still talking, Bai Yulan said. As soon as these words came out, everyone at the scene shut their mouths, but they couldn't think of a way to resist the gods. After all, they were too weak. Everyone in the upper world was thinking about how to resist the powerful enemies. The tribe and the demon tribe are in the same space. Judging from the situation, these guys in the upper realm should be in a hurry. Guyuer looked at the news in Wanja with a smile on her face. It's all their fault. If they hadn't had different intentions towards the Lord wouldn't have let it go, Anita said nonchalantly. Anyway, the spirits and demons have retreated, and they don't care about the lives of others. Two sisters, I don't know when Senior Huang will be released from seclusion. If this continues for a long time, the monks in the upper world may be in bad luck, Chu Luying asked curiously. When the demons and spirits evacuated, they naturally brought Chu Luying with them. Although Chu Luying's strength was not high, because of her special status, both Anita and Gai Yui are befitting her sisters. Sister Luo Ying, the Lord said before that he would be in seclusion for a few days. We don't know the specific number of days, Guyuer said. What are you afraid of? Anyway, as long as the Lord comes out of seclusion, these ants from the God clan will also be looking for death. We can just wait here for the Lord to come back, Anita said. Chu Luying nodded. She had never thought before that the whole world would need one person to save the situation, but now she has seen it with her own eyes. Senior Huanggu is so powerful. In the paradise of cave heaven. Ding dong, the host's training time is up, the rewards are settled. Rumble. As the sound of the system sounded, the aura on Suju's body began to surge. He continued to rise from the first-level Immortal Emperor, and in less than a minute, he reached the realm of the 9th-level Immortal Emperor. Finally, he has reached the realm of the 9th-grade Immortal Emperor. In this way, he can reach the quasi-god realm by taking the god realm pill. Thinking about it, Suju first opened Wanja and checked the messages Anita and others left for him. Are the gods really here? Suju smiled slightly and did not rush to take action. Instead, he took out a pill and drank it directly to start practicing. Not enough people died, and the lessons to the upper world were not enough. At the same time, Linghai sects 10 miles away, a group of people were gathering here, headed by 3,000 people from the God clan and Wu Yuda. Lord Manyu, in front of us is Linghai sect, which is considered one of the most powerful sects in the upper world, and according to the news, many sects are now gathered in Linghai section. Wu Yuda looked at Manyu and smiled. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, beside Ermaran. Chapter 194. At this time, hundreds of thousands of people had gathered behind Wu Yuda and others, all of whom they had come to conquer. At this moment, Wu Yuda's heart was full of pride. Fortunately, he sized up the situation and joined the gods. Otherwise, he would not be a human master now. It would be good if he could survive. It just so happens that if these people don't surrender, they will be destroyed, saving us from searching everywhere. After Manyu finished speaking, everyone flew in the direction of Linghai sect. In Linghai sect, millions of people were gathering outside the sect at this time, and they were all ready. They discussed for a long time, and finally found out that there is no way to resist these gods. Since there is no way to resist, we can only fight to the death. Swish swish swish. While everyone was waiting, they soon saw a group of people flying towards them quickly, which shocked everyone. The gods are coming. The next moment, hundreds of thousands of people from the God clan came to a stop a few hundred meters away from the Linghai sect. Although there are millions of people on Linghai sect's side, more than 10 times as many as on the God clan's side, the momentum around the God clan is extremely high. Looking at the millions of people in front of them is like looking at dead people. Wu Yuda, I didn't expect you to join the gods. Zhang Zhangqiao took a step forward, looked at Wu Yuda and said coldly. Ha ha ha, Zhang Zhangqiao, as the saying goes, those who understand current affairs are heroes. The gods are stronger, so I naturally choose to join the gods. Wu Yuda laughed. At this time, his heart was full of joy. Their Jiling sect was once a subordinate sect of Linghai sect and handed over countless resources to Linghai sect. He was thinking all the time that he could stand up and crush him. After so many years of crushing Linghai Zong, he finally waited for this opportunity. Even if he can crush Linghai Zong by hugging other people's thighs, that's still his ability. Wu Yuda, a scum like you is not worthy of becoming a monk in my upper realm. Immortal Emperor Yugu snorted coldly. Yeah? No matter how much of a scum I am, at least I can still live, but you can't even think of living today, Wu Yuda said disdainfully. They are all old monsters who have lived for hundreds of thousands of years. Being shameless is no longer important. The important thing is to be able to survive. Okay, there is no need to say too much. Now that our God clan has returned, we will take control of the upper world again. If you are willing to surrender, you can come over and our God clan will naturally protect you. Manyu said, if you don't want to submit, then there is no need to stay. Hearing this, everyone in Linghai sect looked at each other, and many of the sect leaders were a little tempted. They came to Linghai sect just to survive with Linghai sect, but now that there are other ways to survive, they also have need to think about it. Everyone, these are all people who are willing to submit to the God clan and have survived. Is it possible that you will be buried with the Linghai sect? Wu Yuda looked at the crowd and said, now the world has changed. The ancient emperor knows that the powerful gods are coming, and has already run away with the demons and spirits. Don't you want to follow the ancient emperor? That's right, the ancient emperor has run away, there's no need for us to die in vain. Anyway, it's just a change of person to notify the upper bound. It won't have any impact on us, so why not vote for it? We sects are meant to survive in the cracks. Linghai sect cannot protect itself now, so there is really no need to put oneself in danger. Wu Yuda's words caused many sect leaders to discuss secretly. Zhang Zhangqiao and others frowned. These guys are really just outsiders. Senior God Clan, our Paradise sect is willing to surrender. The Whitebird sect, are also willing to surrender, and I also ask the seniors of the God Clan to take care of me in the future. And us. With the first person taking the lead, more sect leaders spoke up. Suddenly, the millions of people in Linghai sect were reduced by half in the blink of an eye. These guys are so abominable. They just said they would help us in the same boat, but then they surrendered. Seeing such a scene, Immortal Emperor Yugu said unhappily. That's all, these people just want to survive. Zhang Zhangqiao shook his head. It is impossible for them to help others decide life and death. Zhang Zhangqiao, I didn't expect you to be so stubborn. In that case, don't blame us for being rude. Seeing Zhang Zhangqiao and others still standing there, Wu Yuda sneered, and then looked at Man Yu. Master Man Yu, these guys are stubborn, please ask the gods to kill them. Hearing this, Man Yu gave the other party a cold look. When did my God Clan need your guidance when doing things? Wu Yuda, who was still smiling at first, changed his expression and hurriedly bowed and saluted. Sir, this is not what I mean. Wu Yuda still wanted to explain, but Man Yu completely ignored him and turned to look at Zhang Zhangqiao and others. Sect Master Zhang, right? If you are willing to submit to our God Clan, I can guarantee that the upper world will be managed by you in the future. How about it? Man Yu asked calmly. Master Man Yu, what do you mean by this? I wasn't before. Noisy. Before Wu Yuda finished speaking, Man Yu immediately slapped him. Boom. Ah poof. Immediately Wu Yuda screamed and flew out, a mouthful of blood spurted out, and the aura on his body became sluggish. This scene made many people at the scene very happy. Many of them couldn't stand Wu Yuda's fake power. Now the other party has finally been punished. Sect leader Zhang, how have you considered this matter? As long as you are willing to surrender, our God Clan will entrust you to manage the upper world. Man Yu looked at Zhang Zhangqiao and others again and asked. Man Yu looked reckless on the surface, but in fact he was careful. With Wu Yuda's virtue, it is impossible to take charge of the entire upper world. But Zhang Zhangqiao in front of him was different. There were so many sects when something happened. Everyone wanted to defect to the door, which shows that Zhang Zhangqiao's reputation is not low. If such a prestigious person is in charge of the upper world, it also means that it will be much better for them to find the entrance. In addition, Zhang Zhangqiao's influence on them fearlessness also made him somewhat satisfied. What they believe in the wild tribe is that they can be killed but not humiliated. Looking at Wu Yuda again, it is just a villain who succeeds. If such a person is in charge of the upper world, no one will be convinced. When the time comes, many people will do it in disguise and delay. The gods are looking for the entrance. Fellow Taoist Man Yu, if we are willing to submit, will the gods continue to kill innocent people indiscriminately? Zhang Zhangqiao hesitated and asked. Although he didn't want to surrender, in the scene before him, if he didn't surrender, he would die. It doesn't matter if he dies, but if there are people like Wu Yuda around the gods all the time, it also means that the upper world more people will die. If he can control the upper world, he may be able to prevent many people from losing their lives. Of course not, but you must have enough value. Man Yu said. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, beside Ermaran. Chapter 195. After hearing Man Yu's words, Zhang Zhangqiao thought silently. If he could deal with it, he might be able to avoid many unnecessary killings. Sect leader Zhang, have you considered it? I only give you this one chance. Man Yu asked. If Zhang Zhangqiao didn't agree, although it would be a pity, he would still kill him. Fellow Taoist Menu, I can promise you, but I still have one condition, Zhang Zhangqiao said. Arrogance, to be appreciated by Master Manu, you actually dare to negotiate terms before Manu could speak. Wu Yuda, who had just been slapped, ran out. Although his blood was surging in his body and he was seriously injured, he could no longer control so much, because if he didn't speak, he would lose his dominant position. Will become someone else's. Fellow Taoist Manu, this condition is very simple. I just want Wu Yuda to die, Zhang Zhangqiao said. Wu Yuda's expression changed and he jumped up immediately. You bastard, you dare to take my life. I think you are. I promise you. Boom. Before Wu Yuda finished speaking, Manu nodded. As he spoke, he waved his right hand and bound Wu Yuda with a force. Lord Manu, please spare my life. Please forgive me for the fact that I have no merit but hard work. Zhang Zhangqiao, you bastard, you have to die a good death. If I die, I will not let you go even if I am a ghost. Wu Yuda screamed immediately, but Manu remained unmoved. A mere ant didn't matter to him at all. And he was also very dissatisfied with Wu Yuda's appearance of a villain succeeding. His life is yours. Man. You said, waving his right hand. Wu Yuda's figure immediately flew towards Zhang Zhangqiao. Swish. Laugh. Looking at Wu Yuda flying towards him, Zhang Zhangqiao snorted coldly, a sword light flashed in his hand, and he sealed his throat directly. You. Wu Yuda looked at Zhang Zhangqiao with dull eyes, but before he finished speaking, his eyes widened and lost all life, and he refused to rest in peace. I have fulfilled your conditions now. It's so lively. Am I late? Manu was about to speak, but at this moment, a voice suddenly resounded throughout the sky. This voice, is that of the ancient emperor. Didn't the ancient emperor escape? How dare you show up? Could it be that he thinks that his strength is comparable to that of the strong men of the gods, and is he seeking death by coming out now? Everyone in the upper realm is familiar with this voice. After all, when they heard the sermon before, this voice has been lingering in their minds. Manu also squinted her eyes and looked around, but couldn't find anyone else hidden here. Don't look for it, I'm here. At this time, Suju's voice sounded again, and his figure also appeared next to Zhang Zhangqiao. You did a great job. Suju looked at Zhang Zhangqiao with satisfaction and said with a smile. In fact, he had already arrived when the gods had just arrived, but he was not in a hurry to show up. He had seen everything that happened throughout the process, and he also knew that Zhang Zhangqiao decided to take refuge in order to save the lives of the monks in the upper world. Senior Huang, why are you back? Zhang Zhangqiao frowned and asked, didn't the other party run away? I just stayed in seclusion for a few days, but I didn't expect people from the God clan to come. Suju said helplessly. Senior, now you. Zhang Zhangqiao hesitated to speak. Could the other party still be able to deal with the powerful men of the God clan in front of him? Come out, everyone. Suju did not answer the other party's words, but said lightly. Swish swish swish. The next second, figures appeared in the sky one after another. Soon there were 100,000 demons and spirits, and there was a coffin beside each one. Sorry, time is tight. I have only prepared 100,000 coffins. You can die early so that the coffins can be allocated. Suju looked at the people of the God clan and said with a smile. Are you the ancient emperor? Manu squinted her eyes and looked at Suju, her eyes filled with coldness. It's me. Judging by your aura, you are similar to those guys from the Wilderness Hall. Since we are all acquaintances, I can reward you with an extra coffin, Suju said with a smile. So, all the members of our barbarian clan were killed by you. Manu snorted coldly. It's not really a killing, it's just a simple crushing, Suju shrugged and said. Arrogant, today I need you to pay for the blood debt of millions of my fellow tribesmen in the wilderness. Boom. Man Yu shouted angrily, the aura in his body exploded, and a spear appeared in his hand. Since you are so anxious, I will not waste my time with you, but you are not qualified to fight with me. Suju said and looked at Zhang Zhangqiao beside him. Sect leader Zhang, go ahead and fight this battle. Hearing this, everyone at the scene was stunned. Even Zhang Zhangqiao was stunned. Are you kidding? Although he is a 9th grade immortal emperor, he cannot be Man Yu's opponent. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect that Emperor Huang was just Xiao Xiao. Since he knew he was no match for me, he just surrendered. Why let others risk their lives? Man Yu said disdainfully. Go ahead, I believe you. Suju ignored it and still looked at Zhang Zhangqiao and said. Senior Huang, please stop playing with me. Zhang Zhangqiao is almost crying. Do you believe me? But I don't even believe in myself. Stop talking nonsense and die. Buzz. Man Yu didn't have the temper to continue waiting. As he spoke, the spear in his hand burst out with a ray of light, and he quickly shot towards Suju. Go ahead, you have to believe me. Boom. Ah. Suju said, and kicked Zhang Zhangqiao out. Zhang Zhangqiao screamed and faced Man Yu. Senior, help me. Looking at Man Yu who was getting closer and closer, Zhang Zhangqiao couldn't help shouting. With his strength, he would definitely be killed under this shot. Come on, I'll give you a blessing. Ding dong, the host uses a one-time spell. I will give you a fortune. The target is being determined, it is determined to be successful, the spell takes effect. Suju finished speaking, and the system's voice also sounded. At the same time, a golden light that no one else could see fell on Zhang Zhangqiao. Court death. Looking at the attacking Zhang Zhangqiao, Man Yu snorted coldly and was too lazy to stop. The spear in his hand came to Zhang Zhangqiao in an instant. All we have to do is give it a try. Feeling the crisis, Zhang Zhangqiao gritted his teeth, the power in his body surged, and a ray of light gathered on his palm, facing Man Yu's attack. Boom. The next second, the two people's attacks collided, and powerful power was released in all directions. Swish. A few seconds later, under the tense gaze of everyone, a figure was pushed back. When they saw this person, everyone showed a shocked expression. It turned out to be Man Yu. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the Emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 196. Apoof. Man Yu's face was pale and he could only rely on his spear to support his body, spurting out a mouthful of blood. How can this be? Man Yu looked at Zhang Zhangqiao who was not far away, her eyes filled with disbelief. He was actually seriously injured. He is a 9th grade ancient god expert, but he was seriously injured by an ant? Not to mention that Man Yu couldn't believe it. Even Zhang Zhangqiao was confused. What happened? What happened? Who am I? Where am I? At this time, Zhang Zhangqiao's heart was filled with countless doubts. He looked at his hands and then at the seriously injured ones. Man Yu. What the hell did I do? Damn it, Lao Zhang hit it deep enough to actually have such strong strength. At this time, Immortal Emperor Yugu exclaimed and looked at Zhang Zhangqiao in shock. They had known each other for hundreds of thousands of years and often practiced together. They didn't expect that the other party was already so powerful. It shouldn't be. When did Lao Zhang have such strong power? Could it be? The white jade blue Immortal Emperor couldn't help but look at Suju next to him. It was discovered that Suju had brought out a deck chair from somewhere and was lying on it comfortably. There were 4 beautiful women beside him who were squeezing each other's shoulders. It was Xiaoling, Chuluying, Anita and Guyur who were so happy. Everyone at the scene was shocked, but only the ancient emperor looked like he was taking it for granted. Bai Yulan understood that Zhang Zhangqiao was so powerful all because of the ancient emperor. Bai Yulan couldn't help but think of what Suju said just now, grant a blessing? What kind of fortune is so powerful that it can allow Zhang Zhangqiao, a ninth-grade immortal emperor, to completely defeat even a strong man in the ninth-grade ancient god realm? Bai Jadelan swallowed. If he could possess such a powerful creation. Thinking of this, Bai Jadelan hurriedly came to Suju, knelt down on the spot, and hugged Suju's thigh directly. Seniors and juniors also want such a blessing. Bai Yulan looked at Suju expectantly and said. Suju, who was enjoying the fragrance of four women, was stunned. I am so happy, why are you, a big man, coming here? Go ahead, I said, there is only one good fortune. Suju said and kicked the opponent away. Bai Yulan sighed. If she had known that she had been more active just now, she might have been able to get this good fortune. Looking at Zhang Zhangqiao, Bai Yulan couldn't help but reveal envious eyes. Oh my god, how come the sect master has such strong strength? Just now, Senior Huanggu said that he would give the sect master a good fortune, is this the case? Real or fake? This creation is so powerful that it can seriously injure the gods. No wonder Senior Huanggu didn't want to take action, he just gave a fortune casually, allowing the sect leader to have such a powerful power. If Senior Huanggu did it himself, this god clan might not be able to stop even one move. At this time, other people also reacted and looked at Suju in shock. Senior Huanggu was actually so powerful. Lord, your creation is too strong. Guyur couldn't help but said as she threw herself into Suju's arms. She was also a little surprised that Zhang Zhangqiao, who was just an ant in the past, could actually increase his power so much. I was just too lazy to do anything, so I lent him a little strength, and it was gone in a while, Suju said with a smile. In fact, it was just a technique he had obtained before. I will give you a fortune, a one-time spell that can only be used on other creatures except yourself. The creatures cast by this spell will obtain a special state. In this state, anyone facing them will have a higher realm. The power lasts for an hour. This technique is a bit abnormal. Although Zhang Zhangqiao is currently in the 9th grade Immortal Emperor realm, when facing Man Yu, who is in the 9th grade Ancient God realm, he will have the power of the 9th grade Lord God realm with the blessing of this technique. That is to say, Zhang Zhangqiao didn't adapt just now, otherwise the blow would not have seriously injured Man Yu, but would have killed him directly. If it weren't for the fact that this technique could only be used by other people, Suju would have gone out to show off on her own a long time ago, and it would not be Zhang Zhangqiao's turn. But it seems that although he didn't take the initiative to show off, he still achieved the effect of showing off. At this time, Zhang Zhangqiao also came to his senses and understood that the reason why he suddenly had such power was because of the ancient emperor. Thank you, Senior Huanggu, for your help. Zhang Zhangqiao looked at Sujudeo with excitement. Although this creation will only last for an hour, it is also a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for him to experience the power of a more powerful realm in advance, which will be of great help to his future cultivation. The benefits. Suju ignored each other and still enjoyed the caress of the four beautiful women. Damn it, I don't believe you really have such power. Rumble. Man Yu shouted angrily at this time, the power in his body exploded again, the power of the spear was even greater than before, and this time the target was Zhang Zhangqiao. Well done. Looking at Man Yu who was coming to kill, Zhang Zhangqiao's eyes lit up, and then a long sword appeared in his hand, and he went straight to meet him. Laugh. The next second, a sword and a gun collided, and powerful power exploded again. Click. But in less than 3 seconds, everyone heard a shattering sound, and saw that the spear in Man Yu's hand began to shatter rapidly. No, it's impossible. You're just an ant. How could you have such power? It's impossible. Man Yu looked at the scene in disbelief. Although he could feel that Zhang Jiangqiao's power was thousands of times stronger than his, he still couldn't believe it. Nothing is impossible. Laugh. Zhang Jiangqiao snorted coldly, and the power of the long sword in his hand surged again. With a tearing sound, the sword light penetrated Man Yu's body. Ah! Man Yu screamed immediately, and then with a look of reluctance, her vitality gradually disappeared. Menu, die. S.A. Zhang Jiangqiao sheathed his sword, but the scene was completely silent. Dead, dead. Is this really dead? After the whole process, with just 2 moves, the arrogant god clan was killed. Many people at the scene couldn't help but rub their eyes, unable to believe what they saw. Although they knew that Zhang Jiangqiao had become stronger, they did not expect that he would become so much stronger. He could defeat a strong man in the 9th grade ancient god realm with just 2 moves. It seems a little relaxing. Zhang Jiangqiao looked at Man Yu's body and couldn't help but murmured. Although his voice was not loud, the people present could hear it clearly. Many people's mouth corners twitched slightly. Relaxed. Of course you are relaxed. After all, you have obtained the creation of the ancient emperor. Who else? At this time, Zhang Jiangqiao pointed his long sword in the distance, looked at the remaining people of the god clan with disdain and said. This guy is floating. Suju twitched the corner of her mouth. I was not as arrogant as you when I was invincible. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, beside Ermaren. Chapter 197. Who else? Zhang Jiangqiao's voice echoed between heaven and earth. At this moment, Zhang Jiangqiao's heart was full of pride. He suddenly felt that he could seal the sky with one sword. This is an easy illusion after a sudden surge in strength. The remaining gods looked at each other with hesitation in their eyes. Even Man Yu is not an opponent, which means that Zhang Jiangqiao already has the strength of the Lord God realm. With the strength of these people, I am afraid they will not be able to do anything to Zhang Jiangqiao. Since you don't come, then I will come. After Zhang Jiangqiao finished speaking, he immediately moved and went straight to kill the people of the God clan. Arrogant. Boom. But just as Zhang Jiangqiao set off, a voice resounded throughout the world. The surrounding mountains collapsed under the sound, and a powerful pressure swept across the world. The Elder is here. The Elder is also a strong man in the main god realm. He is also a 7th level main god. He will definitely be able to take down this person. The Elder is finally here. Unfortunately, Master Menu is already dead. He must be killed to avenge Master Menu. Feel this breath. Eyes of everyone in the god clan lit up, and the fear they had just shown disappeared in an instant. Although Zhang Jiangqiao showed the power of the Lord God realm, their elders are also strong Lord gods and will definitely be able to defeat the opponent. Who has a rat head and a rat tail and hasn't shown up yet? Zhang Jiangqiao narrowed his eyes. Although this aura was powerful, he didn't know why, but he felt that this aura was still extremely weak to him. And it doesn't matter even if he can't do it, isn't Senior Huanggu still there to hold the line? No wonder the barbarian tribe was destroyed. It turns out that there is such a powerful person hidden in the upper world. The voice sounded again, and everyone saw a crack in space appear, and an old man slowly walked out with a cold look on his face. Every step he took made the heaven and earth shake, and the mountains and rivers collapsed, which showed the powerful power he possessed. No, this old man looks very difficult to deal with. Can the sect master be his opponent? What are you afraid of? The sect leader can't defeat him. There is also Senior Huanggu. How powerful is this clan of gods? The strong ones come out one after another. Everyone in the upper realm was secretly frightened. They felt their energy and blood surge under this aura, as if they would die suddenly at any moment. We are waiting to welcome the elder. The people of the God clan bowed to the old man with joy on their faces. The old man nodded and was about to speak when a voice suddenly sounded. Kneel down. As this voice sounded, everyone at the scene was stunned and didn't understand what it meant. The old man also frowned. Before he could react, he suddenly felt that his body was starting to lose control. What's going on? The next second, under the gaze of everyone, the old man bent his knees and fell directly to the ground. Boom! From an altitude of 1,000 meters, the old man fell directly and hit the ground. However, after all, the opponent was a strong man in the Lord God realm, so he was not injured. But everyone at the scene looked at the old man below with expressions of disbelief. Because this old man really knelt down. Just now, who said to kneel down just now? What method was used to make this old man really kneel down? That voice just now sounded a bit like the ancient senior to me. Could it be that? As he said that, many people looked at Suju. Suju noticed everyone's gaze and couldn't help but smile. I just think he is a bit arrogant, so it would be better to kneel down. Hiss. Although Suju's tone was calm, everyone at the scene took a breath. They also felt that the old man was arrogant, but he was indeed capable of arrogance. After all, his strength was there. But they never expected that, because of the other party's arrogance, Senior Huang just said 2 words, and the other party's arrogance completely disappeared, and he knelt down so obediently. Moreover, Senior Huang, you are even more arrogant. Hurry, save the elder. The people of the God clan also reacted. At this time, they had no time to care about who made their elders kneel down. They only knew that if something happened to the elders, they would not survive. What happened? What power is this? Why can't I get up? At this time, the old man was still kneeling on the ground, frowning. He could feel his legs, but he just couldn't get up for some reason, as if he was bound by some force. He had never encountered this situation before. Having been there, it's like being outside the rules. Swish. Everyone, if you want to save him, you don't seem to have asked me, right? At this time, Zhang Zhangqiao also reacted and stopped the people of the God clan with a single movement. Although there was only one person and one sword, the 3,000 people of the God clan did not dare to move any more. Deal with them. As for this old man, I will deal with it myself. Suju said calmly. Don't worry, Senior Huang, as long as I'm here, there won't be any accidents. Zhang Zhangqiao nodded. Suju curled her lips, you are really arrogant. Kill. Rumble. Then Zhang Zhangqiao did not hesitate, swung his long sword, and killed the 3,000 powerful gods. Suju also moved and came directly to the old man kneeling on the ground. You, what methods did you use? Looking at Suju who was close at hand, the old man gritted his teeth and said. At this time, he was also a little panicked. Just one sentence made him kneel down. If he really took action, wouldn't he be killed instantly? Don't waste your efforts, I will also give you a blessing. Suju smiled slightly. This 3-word mantra is really useful. No matter what realm you are, if I ask you to kneel down, you have to kneel down. And it only costs 10,000 points. He can make this old man kneel down until death. Then Suju spread his right hand, and an iron lock appeared in his hand. Soul Refining Ghost Lock, a special treasure that ignores the target's realm and can seal the target's soul and manipulate it at will. This old man is a powerful master. It would be a pity to kill him. If he can use it for himself, then he can maximize his benefits. What are you going to do? Looking at the soul refining ghost lock in Suju's hand, the old man swallowed and felt a sense of panic in his heart. Don't worry, it won't hurt. Ding dong, the host successfully used the soul refining ghost lock. Please select the target was selected, and the treasure was used successfully. Swish swish swish. As the system finished speaking, the soul-refining ghost lock in Suju's hand turned into a stream of light and sank into the old man's body. The old man also struggled to get rid of the soul-refining ghost lock. Ah! But soon, the old man screamed and his face became distorted. Even with his strength in the main god realm, it was difficult to resist the pain. Although I said it won't hurt, it will still hurt if you resist. Suju smiled slightly. At this time, he had controlled the old man's soul. If the other party made any move, he would be killed by the soul-refining ghost lock. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 198. The 3,000 strong men of the God clan were like ants in Zhang Jiangqiao's eyes. No matter how many more came, they could not change the outcome of defeat. He raised the sword and dropped it, his figure shuttled among the crowd, waving the sword in a flourishing way. Show me your special skills and let me learn a lot. The heroic words blurted out. It seemed that apart from Suju, he, Zhang Jiangqiao, was the boss in this world. The gods were unable to defeat him for a while, and were driven to kill by Zhang Jiangqiao. The blood of his fellow tribesmen dripped under his feet, and he could hardly move forward. And Suju, he was observing the old man with great interest. It was also his first time to use the soul training ghost lock, so he was inevitably a little curious. For a young person like you, with a few magic weapons in your hands, you really think I can't stand you? The old man was kneeling on the ground. His soul was severely injured, but his mouth was still tough and he refused to show weakness. That depends on your ability. Suju smiled calmly. With his current level of strength, he really doesn't take the old man seriously. If he has the real ability, he can break away from the three-character mantra and give him a long eye. It can be considered a good pastime after dinner. The old man tried his best to stand up, but his knees were stuck to the ground. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't break free. And since the stream of light penetrated into his body, the old man's divine sea began to violently shock, the tide crashes on the shore, and the water level drops rapidly. How is it possible? My spiritual sea is drying up. The old man's face changed drastically. He had never heard of any magic weapon that was so powerful that it could directly refine the opponent's spiritual sea. Could it be that the person coming was a cultivator from the demon world? But he looked upright and awe-inspiring, and he claimed to be the ancient emperor. He had nothing to do with the demon world. Not relevant. Who are you? Why did you massacre my clan of gods? The old man stared at Suju fiercely, with a look that wanted him to be ripped apart and swallowed. I told you, I am the ancient emperor. Are you so old that you are deaf? Suju took out the chair and sat down, admiring the old man's last appearance in the world. You wait. After saying these cruel words, the old man disappeared on the spot and was absorbed by the soul-refining ghost lock. Suju waved his hand and called back the embodied soul-refining ghost lock. It seems there are usage restrictions. Suju observed the flow of spiritual power on the surface of the soul-training ghost lock and muttered to himself. Before the last soul was exiled, there was no way to use the soul-training ghost lock again. It would be great if the number of people who can be driven can be increased. When the time comes, there will be 10 or 8 of them, and if there is a fight, just let the dogs bite. Suju was amused by her own thoughts and observed for a while before she raised her head and looked towards Zhang Jiangqiao. Although the God clan had the upper hand in numbers, they were full of idiots. Even though they had taken advantage of the right time, place, and people for so many years, they still couldn't cultivate anything powerful. Characters. A group of people were suppressed and beaten by Zhang Jiangqiao, and they all felt aggrieved for them. You should have known long ago that the human sea tactic is useless against me. After all, no matter how many ants there are, they are still just ants. Zhang Jiangqiao laughed wildly, raised his hands flat, and evoked a strong wind. Everyone couldn't stand in the wind and fell to the ground one after another. Killing them one by one is too laborious, so why not let me use the self-created gust of sand to finish you off? After speaking, the strong wind turned into a sharp blade and took away the heads one by one. It's so bloody. I don't know how he can eat when he goes back tonight. Suju smacked her tongue and forgot about the immortal's provision of grains. By the time Zhang Zhangqiao finished the killing, no one was left standing on the field. Have you had enough fun? Time to go, Suju shouted. Zhang Zhangqiao immediately ran back to Suju, wiped the blood off his face, and said with a smile, that's enough, Emperor, let's go. Don't do it so bloody next time, it will cause me psychological distress. Suju complained. He always takes action when he can, and uses it for himself. Unlike Zhang Zhangqiao, who is bound to see blood whenever he takes action. He really can't adapt to it for a while. Executioner, don't go. Suju opened the divine door and was about to leave when suddenly there was a sound of piercing the air behind him. A long sword came straight towards his heart. The sword holder attacked with the mentality of sharing death, killing everyone by surprise. Great Emperor, be careful. Zhang Zhangqiao only had time to shout this sentence, and then moved instantly to block Suju's back. The expected heart-piercing pain did not come. Zhang Zhangqiao opened his eyes and found that Suju was standing with a gloomy expression. Behind the assassin. I have always been upright and never do such dirty things as backstabbing. How come you, the self-proclaimed gods, do it anyway? Suju knocked down the long sword, reached out to grab the opponent's neck, and actually wanted to strangle the opponent to death. Rubbish. She took a strong breath, raised her hand and grabbed Suju's clothes, and pulled hard. Forget it, I don't kill women. Suju let go of the girl with a cold expression. I kill, I have no inhibitions. Zhang Zhangqiao volunteered and raised his sword to give the girl a good pleasure. This, the Qiangu immortal emperor had been standing aside silently, but at this moment he couldn't help but speak. The gods of all worlds have their own destiny. Since she can survive the massacre just now, it is because God will not accept her, so why should the emperor create her again? Kill evildoers. Suju raised her head. Her destiny is to feed the sword. After saying this, everyone present had no objections and remained silent, waiting for Zhang Zhangqiao to end her life. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, Beside Ermaran. Chapter 199. Something unexpected happened. The blessing Suju gave him lasted only an hour. After the battle with Manu and the gods, his glorious hour was over. The girl looked at the gap where Zhang Zhangqiao was slightly stunned and raised her hand to reveal a stream of smoke. Everyone was surrounded by smoke and didn't notice it for a moment, allowing her to run away. Nature plays tricks on people, fate plays tricks on people. The Qiangu immortal emperor waved his hand to disperse the smoke and sighed. This girl has too much hatred for Suju. If she is allowed to escape, who knows how much trouble will be laid. Go chase, Suju ordered with a cold face. Everyone immediately clasped their fists and accepted the order, and disappeared in a flash. The people present were powerful and were chasing a seriously injured girl. Suju did not believe that they would miss. However, as time passed, they came back. The people who returned to life shook their heads one after another, saying that they had not caught the girl. This made Suju's anger rise. Is the result of practicing hard so that you can't even catch an injured person? Great Emperor, it's not that we don't want to catch her. Strangely enough, her aura seems to have disappeared between heaven and earth and cannot be found anywhere. The Qiangu immortal emperor looked around and found that no one was willing to reply to Suju's anger. He simply gritted his teeth and stood up on his own. Check, find out who her last name is and what details she has. Suju rolled her sleeves and left. For some reason, his anger was easily aroused by the girl, as if he was out of control. And all of this was uploaded to the Wanja network. This woman is so brave, she actually dares to strike Emperor Huanggu in the back with a sword. I think she has lived for too long and her brain has become stupid. If their Protoss hadn't bullied others too much, why would the ancient emperor let Zhang Zhangqiao massacre her? That is, Emperor Huanggu is not a narrow-minded person. I have improved a lot just by listening to his lectures. Did you see that woman's face clearly? This is a good time to give a gift to the ancient emperor. Everyone agreed, and then began to leave messages, vowing to take this head for Emperor Huanggu. Facing the pursuit of all realms, she couldn't survive. The Qianggu immortal emperor looked through the messages under the video and said, I was so useless, even though I was standing next to the emperor, I almost let her succeed. Zhang Zhangqiao punched the boulder, and the gravel flew away. Don't be angry, we were all there at the time, it happened suddenly, who could have expected it? The Qianggu immortal emperor reached out and patted Zhang Zhangqiao's shoulder, and then came over gossiping. Tell me, do you have any insights after being blessed by the great emperor? Zhang Zhangqiao was stunned for a moment, and immediately pushed the eternal immortal emperor away with a look of disgust. Don't you know if you go to the emperor to ask for a fortune? You little turtle bastard, why can't I even ask you? No. The two of them were noisy all the way and couldn't stop for even a moment. After this battle, the heads of each sect no longer had any objections. They all knelt at the door and begged the ancient emperor for forgiveness. These old men will curse people when something goes wrong, and ask for cover when things are settled. I really can't stand it. Guyuer stood in front of the window and spat outside. What's the use of scolding them? You'd better worry about how to calm down the emperor first. Zhu Luying sat at the table worriedly, her eyes always looking into the room. Suju was lying on the bed with her eyes closed to rest. Since coming back, he didn't say a word and just lay there, which really worried the four beauties. Great Emperor, don't be angry. In the final analysis, she is just an assassin. Now that all the worlds are chasing her, the only thing waiting for her is death. Anita came to the bed, half kneeling, and whispered softly. I'm not angry anymore, I'm just thinking about the problem. Su. Ju opened her eyes and sat up. Go and help me with something. As soon as these words came out, the four people present were stunned for a moment, and then they hurriedly agreed. Don't say one, just 10. But I don't know what Suju wants them to do. Dozens of sect leaders couldn't kneel down, feeling uneasy. When the gods came to the city, they showed up to help Zhang Zhangqiao, but they questioned the strength of the ancient emperor in front of the battle. It was really disrespectful. I don't know if there is any use in truly repenting at this time. From sunset to the middle of the moon, the door of the ancient emperor's room was open. Everyone hurriedly kowtowed, but were stunned for a moment after seeing the person clearly. Four fairies who always accompanied the emperor stood outside the door, with their backs to everyone, kowtowed inwards, then stood up and came to them. The emperor has issued an order that from now on, the positions of the heads of each sect will be abolished and replaced by one sect, with Zhang Zhangqiao as the head of the section. Do you have any objections? As soon as Anita said this, the sect leaders were dumbfounded. They had thought about the way the Emperor of 10,000s would punish them, but they didn't expect that he would directly depose the sect leader and bring all the major sects under Zhang Zhangqiao's command. This is unreasonable. Even the great emperor cannot do this. Yes, our sect leaders have worked hard for their own sects to achieve today's situation. How can we abolish it just by saying it is abolished? Several people were dissatisfied and stood up to protest, clamoring for the emperor to come out and give them a reasonable explanation. Few. There was a sound of a head falling to the ground. Anita raised her knife and gave the protester a good blow. The existence of the ancient emperor is the explanation given to you. She spoke coldly, without any emotion in her eyes. Fantasy, I rely on my mobile phone to pretend to be the emperor. Author, beside Ermaran. Chapter 200. Anita swore she wanted to stop. The sect leaders who were shocked by the death that was coming towards them did not dare to raise any objections. However, the blood of their companions flowed to their feet, but they could no longer kneel down. The fight ended too quickly, and Anita and others used a crushing force to cleanse the sect leaders present. Before leaving, Suju told them that this might happen, but Anita had a little bit of luck in her heart and didn't think that the sects would really risk their lives to resist the emperor's order. "Sister, don't feel too bad. Even if they don't die here today, their fate will not be much better after they return to the section." Chu Luying stepped forward and comforted her softly. As the leader of a sect, he must have always had quarrels with others. It would be fine if he had always been firmly in the position of leader, but now that he had lost power, how could his enemies let them go so easily? "If I go back, it will be good if I don't get stabbed to death at night." Guyuer stepped forward and took the initiative to clear away the blood on the floor with his sleeves, lest they keep it and make Anita feel guilty. "I understand, thank you." Anita cheered up, said goodbye to the three sisters, and left alone to complete the task assigned to her by Suju. Ju felt extremely reluctant to leave this time, and I think the four of them felt the same way. Since they became under the banner of the ancient emperor, after that, the five of them went in and out together, but they had not been separated for too long. It was just that the situation was different this time. Anita recalled the scene before leaving. At that time, the four of them in the house could not understand what Suju did. In there it seemed that the ancient emperor was so powerful that he could have such thoughts. However, Suju's next words answered the doubts in the four people's minds. "It's true that I am powerful, but now more and more people are willing to follow me. If I don't put them in place now, I'm afraid there will be even greater turmoil in the future. They were like a pile of loose sand, being broken through one by one. I can't just go around and repel intruders, right? No matter how powerful I am not a tool that can fight endlessly. I must have a system in my own hands that can operate independently to face all emergencies. Even if I am not there, there will still be enough power to support me when I come. I have set up a monitoring system before, but its main purpose is supervision. If you compare it to my eyes everywhere, then all you have to do is become the knife in my hand, do you understand?" The four women in front of the bed are the liaisons arranged by Suju to serve as liaisons between the various races. They will be responsible for the operation of the entire system to ensure that there is no fire in the backyard when Suju is away fighting. And Zhang Zhangqiao, they are the chess pieces arranged under the four people. They are loyal to Suju and have a strong foundation in the local area. Suju, who was sitting alone in the room, began to re-examine himself. He got the opportunity from time to time and took the opportunity firmly grasping it in his own hands. All the opponents he met in this world have been defeated. But Suju cannot be satisfied with the status quo. He needs to start to grow and expand the power in his hands at a geometric rate until the world is over again. Nothing can threaten him. I finally understand what it means. A country is easy to conquer but hard to defend. Suju sighed, put things down for the time being, and turned around to study how he could break through the realm again and reach the level of a god. All the treasures in the system store had been exchanged by him before. He didn't know if they would be used after opening this time. Will refresh. I need to redeem my points for elixirs again. Suju laughed at himself and looked at the system store. What he saw in front of him made him dumbfounded. The system store was empty. Network card? It shouldn't be. As promised, there is a signal in Wanja, and there will never be any network interruption, Suju wailed and opened the system store repeatedly to check. But nothing was refreshed. Gan, Suju cursed loudly. Since the host has started upgrading the divine realm, the system will also be updated simultaneously, which will take about 3 days. During this period, if the host needs it, please ask for your blessings. After a while, the system gave Suju an update notification. He was so angry that he wanted to throw his phone. Forget about solar charging, what kind of system updates are you doing now? Are there still people behind you doing maintenance? Suju threw the phone on the bed, feeling that everything was not going well today. She had no choice but to wait for the system to be updated. Suju called out the soul training ghost lock, thinking of finding someone to chat with to pass the loneliness of the night. If I had known earlier, I would have asked Anita and the others to leave tomorrow. Hey, bad old man, are you alive? Suju called out unceremoniously, but there was no response from the soul practicing ghost lock. No, don't tell me that even the magic weapon can't be used because of the system update. You guessed it right. Return. Suju was speechless as he looked at the words floating on the soul training ghost lock. He just wanted to reach out through the network cable and strangle the system to death. In 3 days, the magic weapon can't be used, and the system can't be used. By the way, it can be used. Short video. But if I post a short video during the system update, will the points be credited? Suju doesn't want to do thankless things. Nope. 4 big characters flashed on the screen of the mobile phone. You. Suju threw the phone back on the bed and planned to go into seclusion for 3 days. During this period, no one can find him. If you ask, there will be no trace of this person.